Hello, Tri-Cities, and welcome to the 2021 Vote for Business Candidate Forum, the only region-wide business-focused candidate forum in the Tri-Cities, brought to you by the Tri-City Regional Chamber of Commerce. In this forum, you'll be hearing from candidates running for West Richland Position 1 at large. I'm Scott Stovall, news anchor at Keeper Action News. Certainly pleased to be with you. Voting begins as ballots start appearing in mailboxes on October 13th and will continue through Election Day for Tuesday, November 2nd. Thanks so much for joining us to learn about candidates' thoughts and positions on issues that impact our local economy and business community. And now, the message from the President and CEO of the Tri-City Regional Chamber of Commerce, Lori Matson.
Thank you. I'd like to take a brief moment to thank the Chamber's Board of Directors and our Local Government Affairs Committee for their leadership in supporting the advocacy efforts of the Regional Chamber, and especially our sponsors, AYB Drafting, Cascade Natural Gas, and Hayden Homes. The Chamber supports positions that preserve and promote a positive business climate. As the foremost advocate and voice for business, the Chamber leads the region by advancing policies and positions that strengthen business and improve the local economy and quality of life. The 2021 Vote for Business Candidate Forum is designed to highlight how candidate positions integrate with local business priorities. And finally, a very special thank you to our local news partners for collaborating on this project. Your time, talent, and expertise are valued and truly appreciated. Now a word from one of our sponsors.
Hello, I'm Lindsay Demko with Cascade Natural Gas. We are a proud sponsor of the Vote for Business campaign. Local elections are important to our business economy, just like our vital underground utility lines. So please, remember to vote and always contact 811 before you dig. Thanks for watching.
And thank you. And it is a pleasure for Keeper to support this effort to inform voters about the people who are running for public office. And now to the format. Each candidate will have 1 minute for opening and closing statements. The candidates will be asked the same question. Response time for each question is limited to 2 minutes. Time limit reminders will appear on screen at 10 seconds remaining, and if necessary, when time is up. And since this is a forum rather than a debate, candidates will not be provided rebuttal time. And so now we are ready to get started. So let's begin by introducing in alphabetical order the two candidates in the race for West Richland City Council, Position 1 at large, Stephen Davis and John Smart. Welcome. And thank you very much for taking the time to be with us. We appreciate both of you. So if you're ready to go, let's get started. And as mentioned, we will start opening statements in alphabetical order. So Mr. Davis, we will begin with your opening statement. You have 1 minute.
Thank you. So for the past 7 years, I've had the privilege of living in West Richland with my wife and 3 children. Like many of us, the community, my family was drawn to the surrounding of the cities here. I'm passionate about economic growth and development, creating additional outdoor entertainment, investing in future infrastructure, and supporting emergency services, personnel, and educational facilities. Economic development is critical to the economic prosperity of our community. Economic development is necessary to ensure this region has a diverse financial foundation and not become reliant on a single industry or tax base to create a revenue source. Without proper economic development, the sustainability of our current and future quality of life and the financial responsibilities of our community will not be able to be supported. My candidacy will represent a shared voice, a collaboration of community working together. My leadership experience, commitment to progress, and investment in our community makes me the ideal candidate. Thank you for the time.
Well, thank you for your opening statement. And Mr. Smart, you now have 1 minute for your opening statement.
Thanks, Scott. I'd just like to indicate and say to the citizens of West Richland that it's been a pleasure serving as your council member for the last about 6 years. I like to point out that our city and really cities throughout the state, the purpose of cities is to provide services that are difficult to obtain through yourself or just your own family unit. So we're talking about utilities, streets, police services, emergency services, collaborations with other local municipalities to produce synergy in the services that can be offered. So I'm very strongly supportive of development of our city infrastructure, a sustainable infrastructure, and one that doesn't exceed our ability to pay for the infrastructure. It's very easy in a growth curve to expand faster than you can afford to, but it's also important that we do that in a strategic way. So I'm supportive of business growth. The new developments that are slated for West Richland are exciting. I think that as we move forward, the growth is going to. And I've got to stop. So I'll just leave it at that. Thank you.
All right.
I didn't prepare it in writing, but I feel like I will get the message across.
Okay, good deal. Thanks for your opening statement. So let's go ahead and move right into the question and answer portion of the forum. And a coin toss just prior to taping has determined that John Smart will answer the first question and subsequent questions will be alternated. So let's go ahead and get started with the first question, John. And what can the city council do in regard to tax and regulation that will promote our region as a smart place to do business?
Thanks, Scott. So, America is founded on the basis of freedom. And I'm a big supporter of constitutional freedoms, economic freedom. Entrepreneurial spirit is key to our survival. Interference by government through regulation or standards that are set without the consent of the population may bring short-term gains, but ultimately will result in gross inefficiencies, maybe even fatal inefficiencies. So I'm somebody who is very watchful for regulations that come across our desk, and there have been a few in West Richland where they want to have citywide building standards for aesthetics. It's something that I think that is a fine idea for a property owner if they want to start a neighborhood covenant or something like that. But I really want to leave those decisions to our business owners and our citizens. And we could become a Leavenworth, Washington, which is really a cool place, but that has to be by popular demand and not by edict. So I think this is an important issue that's coming up as West Richland expands pretty dramatically here in the next few years, that we decide how we want our city to look and who's going to get to decide what it will look like. So I really like to focus on the things that are less controversial, like sewer systems and water supply, road conditions, intersection improvements, these things that really are at the core and reason for our city's existence. I serve on the utility committee and on the planning subcommittee, and I try to influence those to stick to the basics and make sure our city is doing what our citizens need it to do, and not venture too far away from that.
Okay, thank you. And now, Stephen, your turn.
Excellent. Well, I do agree with quite a bit of what John said. Obviously, the infrastructure, our sewers, our streets, the things that support the residents within our community are vital. But I do think it's important that to grow our economic development within both the region of the Tri-Cities and in West Richland. We have an opportunity here in the West Richland to become kind of the corridor from the west part of the state. And I think obviously with the support of the voters and the citizens, we have a great opportunity to gain a financial larger footprint economically, which we in turn provides more resources to the Tri-Cities as a whole.
Okay, thank you. And Stephen, you'll be answering the second question first, so I will ask the question now. The current labor shortage impacts local business. As a city council member, what can you do to foster, attract, and retain talent to build the next generation workforce?
That's a good question. So obviously part of it is bringing in that new economic development, working with industries like the Benton Franklin workforce development programs. They're an ideal candidate working with kind of some of our younger workforces, typically the 18 to 24-year-olds, gaining them the skills and experience in our community. But really, it's providing an inclusive environment that allows people to want to, one, bring businesses to our area, but secondly, invest in the community and the individual services that we have here in the Tri-Cities.
Okay, great. Okay, John, your turn.
Yeah, so I like to look at the history of West Richland, and people for the last 20 years have wanted to move to West Richland because of the environment that they see there. They see small government, they see rural atmosphere, they see basically the freedom that they like to dream about, and as far as where to raise their family in the United States. It's a pretty popular place to be. People that move to West Richland really love it. So I think, in a sense, I'm sort of a build it and they will come guy, and what that means is that we need to preserve the atmosphere of West Richland. It doesn't mean we can't grow, but we have to grow smartly, and we need to grow with a diversity of housing opportunities. We need smaller residents for segments of the workforce that appreciate that. And frankly, we need the estates for the folks that are moving from Seattle or Spokane or Portland who now can work online and want a place for their horses and their kids to drive a go-kart in the backyard. There's a wide range of people that we need to consider when it comes to growing West Richland, and hence by extension the Tri-Cities as a whole. So I think that it's going to be important that we plan appropriately for a diversity of housing opportunities, that we encourage a sustainable infrastructure that can support those. And like I said, if we build this and allow our businesses and developers to build this, people will come, and West Richland will thrive. So if you look at a lot of the franchises that the requirements they have for planting a business in a city, there's a certain requisite number of traffic count and low population and so forth that are required, and we're right on the precipice. So I'm encouraging our city council and our population to support, smart growth.
All right, good deal. Okay, let's go to the next question, and John, you will be answering first. Here it is. As a city council member, what specific investments by the city will you champion to encourage diversity of business and economic growth in West Richland?
So I've been really proud to be a part of and to work with our public utilities department and our planning department, and their ability to really partner with the state of Washington on the Main Van Giesen corridor improvements that will be coming up soon. We've managed to get grants for a lot of that work. Some of the intersections that we've planned to improve are the result of working with the state and getting grant funding from those. I think ideally, the cities and the citizens of a city would pay for all of this stuff directly, but kind of sadly, in my mind, we have to send all our money to Olympia first, then it has to get churned around and then sent back to us. So for better or worse, it's how it is, but we are good at obtaining those grants, and I think the state has generally found that West Richland is going to be a growth area, and so that's just one aspect of it. But like I said, I think that the most important thing is to build for the future, and so when it comes to these basic utility systems and infrastructure, we really need to look at planning in advance. So we want to build on the positive side, and we want to plan for expansion in the future. There's just no doubt that we've got something on the order of 22 square miles of land mass in West Richland. Only a fraction of that is currently built on. So these next coming years are going to be really critical as we plan for the future. We've got a large burden coming up when it comes to road maintenance and all of this really fairly technical infrastructure construction. This requires good reviews and some real talent to make that work right.
Okay, good deal. All right, Stephen, your turn.
Absolutely, thank you. So once again, right, the economic development and the pace of which we grow our community is vital. Obviously, we need to have the infrastructure, the resources, the finances in place to make sure that we're not over expanding and not able to smartly control the growth that we want here in West Richland. I do believe, though, by actively looking for some commercial economic development within our region instead of subdividing the 22 square miles that John's talking about into single property homes, having an area of high density homes to drive kind of that community shopping center area. Sorry, I kind of lost on my words there, but it's important that financially we rely on more than just our property taxes and the citizens of our community for this economic development.
All right. Thanks, Stephen. And now this is our final question. And Stephen, we will start with you. The My Tri 2030 Regional Vision Project is a community-driven effort to drive collaborative action. How do you see the cities collaborating, coming together to solve shared problems and advance regional initiatives?
Well, I think this is vital, right? As we continue to grow, especially with the separate counties, right? We need to be working cohesively to bring in the tourism, to bring in businesses, because once they're here, right, we support each other, each city. The My Tri 2030 has some great reports and have done some great information on the advancement of agriculture and how that impacts our community. Kind of a transformation of education to continue to use our STEM education, but also provide some of the soft skills that are needed in some of the workforces that we have within our community. And then that inclusion that I talked about earlier, right? Amplifying the inclusion, making sure that what we bring here, the people use here. So, they've started a great foundation of unifying the cities, of having us collaborate and work together to find what's the best option for all. And I support this endeavor. It's a great opportunity. And there's some great people that are sitting on that committee as currently speak. So.
Okay. All right, John, your answer now.
Sure. So I really look at this as a system, and the first part of building a successful system of business and economic growth is planning for that ground up infrastructure. At that point, to answer this question specifically, I'll say that then you have to start to plan your business activities, and the sooner we can know about what business activities our local entrepreneurs and our business gurus are interested in, the better we can plan that future infrastructure and layout of the city. These are really the responsibilities of the city, is this planning, the roads, the infrastructure, the support. The business itself is something we like to facilitate, but I have to say straight out, the business is not the city. The city is not the Chamber of Commerce, and the Chamber of Commerce is the city, though. So I like to say that these business owners and the developers, I really encourage them to approach the city, get involved with the council meetings, the planning. We have workshops that show up every about once a year. I really like to see more input. We need more citizen input on that as well. So I really encourage the business owners, the Chamber of Commerce, and citizens themselves to communicate with their city government and have some influence on how the city responds. As far as the actual running and operation of a business and so forth, man, that's what the Chamber of Commerce does best, and the members thereof. So I really encourage them to be strong, and I really encourage all businesses to get involved with their chamber so that they can, cooperatively plan what the future is going to look like. I want to leave the business to the businessman. I want to take care of the city. The city should be taken care of by the city officials and the staff.
All right, great answers, guys, and thank you so much. And this closes the question and answer period, and we will end the forum with closing statements. Since Mr. Davis opened, we will begin closing statements with, or actually we started with Mr. Smart, so we will begin closing statements with, I'm kind of mixed up here. So, like, who wants to go first? I'll let one of you guys go first.
So,
Go ahead,
just in closing, right? What a great opportunity. I appreciate having this opportunity to speak with everyone, to have this video opportunity shared so many different ways. I value the work that our current city council members are doing. I'm just looking for an opportunity to bring some slight changes. Thank you, John. Thank you, Keeper. Thank you, Regional Chamber, for allowing me to share my message.
Okay, John, your final statement.
So, working with the city for the last 6 years, I've come to realize how efficient it really is. A lot of folks, myself included, complain about our property taxes and how much we have to pay, but we really do get an amazing value, I think, here in West Richland. I want to keep it that way. I want it to be a lean, well-directed operation. I really try hard to keep our council and our city on track, which means not focusing on ancillary topics that really our citizens have not hired us to do. So we need to work as an efficient group of individuals who are really laser focused on doing what the city is supposed to do for the citizens. I get there's encroachments in this all the time. We get asked to do social programs and all of these other things. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? We have a public utilities department. We have a planning department. We have a financial department. We have a police department. These are public works. We need to focus on these core issues. This is what the citizens of West Richland have hired us to do. That's what I intend to proceed with.
All right, John Smart, Stephen Davis, thanks so much today. We appreciate you taking the time to be with us for the Tri-City Regional Chamber of Commerce's 2021 Candidate Forum, featuring candidates running for West Richland City Council, position 1 at large. And as we begin the countdown to Election Day on November 2nd, please remind your friends in West Richland to watch, share, and get out the vote. And you can find this video and other candidate forum videos on the Tri-City Regional Chamber website. That's www.tricityregionalchamber.com. Again, thank you to the Chamber, Keeper, the candidates and sponsors, Cascade Natural Gas, AYB Drafting, and Hayden Homes. And a special thanks to all of you for watching this. I'm Scott Stovall with Keeper Action News, reminding you to vote. Have a great day.